Oh, there we are. What's up, everybody? It's Jason Martinez. Welcome to episode 28 of BetParx Presents Stick to Hockey Live. And coming up in a minute, this is a bit of a joint episode. Had a chance to jump over to Jersey yesterday and hang with the boys from Nasty Knuckles, Riley Cote, Derek Settlemeyer, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation. Talking about the team, talking about behind-the-scenes stuff, all kinds of great stuff. So it's going to be kind of a joint episode. I know they put their stuff out already on YouTube and on their podcast channels, and we're going to do the same here. And I want to thank them for having me. It was a lot of fun. I've known those guys for a long time. Two really good dudes in the hockey community here in Philadelphia. So we'll get to that in just a moment. Let me tell you about BetParx because it's a great time to get on the BetParx app. Tons going on this weekend. You've got a late night hockey tonight. Flyers are in Vegas to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. And you can bet same game parlays, live in-game betting, player performances, props, teasers, futures, you name it, it's all there. And not only on just hockey. How about hoops, college and pro? How about football, college and pro? How about World Cup continues? You can bet on that and anything else in the world of sport and more. So jump on the BetParx app and check it out. Just navigate it. Easy to sign up, easy to deposit, faster to win than ever before. Use the promo code JASON750. That'll get your risk-free bet up to $750. And again, just using that promo, JASON750. Again, new and existing users. Terms and conditions do apply. So do yourself a favor, just in time for the weekend. Download the BetParx app today. You need to be over 21 and present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, go this weekend, make a plan to head down to Route 202 in Glen Mills and see the beautiful, beautiful showroom of Conquerville Subaru. It's a great time to check out all the new Subarus, check out the great things they have to offer at Conquerville Subaru. Get a chance to know the people at Conquerville Subaru. You know, it's so crazy. When we first started doing ads on the radio many years ago, about 8.5 years ago, about I bought my first car at Conquerville Subaru and my son will buy his first car there. If you can believe it, a week from today he's going to be 16. That's bananas. 1 week from today. And he'll get his first car at Conquerville Subaru. It's the Share the Love event going on right now too. Fantastic time to head over. It's going on through January 3rd. And this is where Subaru is going to donate $250 for every new car sold to one of 5 charities. And you get to pick either the ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, Nations Parks, or Conquerville's hometown charity, which is Namor's Children's Hospital of Delaware. December is a great time to visit the beautiful showroom of Route 202 in Glen Mills. Check out the certified pre-owned inventory, all the list of incoming Subaru vehicles, and tons more. Service department's great as well, with a free car wash with every visit. So make sure you swing by. Route 202 in Glen Mills. Check out ConquervilleSubaru.com online. Get details there. Check out the showroom. And remember that Conquerville cares. All right, joint episode with myself and the boys from Nasty Knuckles. So we will roll this now, our conversation from Nasty Knuckles, and we will talk to you next time on BetParx Presents Stick to Hockey Live. Enjoy.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemeyer. And this week we are very fortunate to have our good buddy who hosts the the intermission, and the post game for the Flyers, as well as host of the Flyers Daily podcast, Mr. Jason Martinez. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I thought we were here to talk Formula One. I was ready to talk F1.
I know you do that as well. Yeah. That's right. You do it all, man.
Well, they're in the off season, so we'll give you a pass.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. It's just trying to get through another season, and I think it's been intriguing what's going on, even though, wins are always intriguing, but just the presence of Torts, I think, makes everything very different, but in a good way.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you've been communicating with him quite a bit. I know you had a podcast with him yesterday, the day before. I mean, what's your relationship like with him, and like, what are you seeing from your perspective of how he's influenced the team so far?
Well, it's weird because when you kind of think the same way as somebody, your assumption is the relationship is good. I don't know how he'd answer the question. He'd probably say, I don't know. I don't have a relationship with him. He's a guy that I talk to once in a while. But right. I love the way his approach, just even before he was here, I always thought that it made sense for him to be here. And then you couple that with the timing that he is here, because I think everybody needs a big mirror held in front of them right now, and we know that's what Torts does. And sometimes you won't like the reflection, and that's important. We talk to him before every game. The meetings we have with a head coach before the game, and they're very off the cuff, and some of the stuff is just context for us. Some of it is stuff we can use on the air, and some of it certainly is neither. So we have really frank discussions about players, about different elements of the game and what they're trying to do on and off the ice. And I just think that, the honesty that he comes with every day, and the accountability for him, that's not like a catchphrase. For us, that is.
Yeah.
Well, I got to be accountable. That's easy to say, hard to live.
Right.
And I think he forces guys to live it, as best he can. And it's not easy forcing that with today's athlete. So I've really enjoyed covering him. I think he's a genuine guy. He's a dog lover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things. Like, he's a real dude.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy covering him. I've covered some good guys. I mean, Lavi, we had a blast with Lavi. Similarities, but some differences too. I felt like Lavi was a little bit more serious all the time. With Torts, when kind of he's in off mode, he's a real laid back, like, moves slow, chill guy. So I really enjoy kind of being around him, and theoretically the way he talks about the game, I agree with.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I was just gonna say, like, Nasty and I have talked about this a bunch. Like when they signed Torts, like, we thought it was a good fit, obviously from his past and all that. How do you see? I mean, the Flyers started off well, probably won some games they shouldn't have, probably because of Carter Hart. But how do you see this thing sustaining itself? Over the course of the rest of the season here, with Torts behind the bench and knowing how he is, especially when things get a little rocky. Do you see him being able to, maintain his composure? And
Yeah, I think that's been a big question. You see it a lot on social media, especially through the 10-game winless skid.
yeah,
Going, this isn't what Torts thought he was getting into. He's going to walk. Then where are we? And so I think that's baloney, because I think
he's
he
not
knew
walking.
exactly what he was walking
Sure,
into.
he did. Yes.
Yeah, he did.
And I talked to him on the pod yesterday, and one of the things he loves teaching, and he's done more of that this year than ever before. Shown more video, more teaching. He's called the league young and dumb, and to some extent he's right, because the middle class is kind of gone right now.
Right.
I think it'll come back, but for as far as him not getting something that he didn't expect, I think that's baloney.
Yeah.
And I think he understands. You look at his history. I think there was this notion that he was going to come in here and take a team that was well below average and have it fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
That never happens where he goes in year one. In year one, he goes and weeds out. And none of his teams have ever knocked on the door of a wild card in year one. It's about finding out who's part of the solution, who's part of the problem, who's part of the problem that we have to get out of here immediately, and how do we replace them. And then we have this arc that we go on of he makes the playoffs in full year two of a full season and arcs towards however high up he can get. In Tampa, that was a cup.
Yep.
It took 4 years. And he was there for 6. In New York, that was a conference final. And in Columbus, got to a couple of second rounds. So where that arc goes remains to be seen, but he defies the logic of, kind of the way people think about it. Everybody thinks he's a tyrant and he's going to burn. He burns hot and he's going to burn out quick. But the average tenure of an NHL coach is 2.4 years. His average tenure, if you take out Vancouver, is over 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's he's a bit of an anomaly. in
Yeah.
that way.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's had a good track record, and I think he's softened a little bit over time. I mean, maybe it's not the right word, but I mean,
Evolved.
I think he's
Yeah.
I think
Right.
he's
Evolved.
learned,
Yeah. Exactly.
Like we had Jay Rosehill on last week, and he was under Torts only for some camps, but he said he's amazed at how he has evolved. With, as Rosie put it, it's a little softer now than it used to be. The game's obviously different from when he had him in Tampa. That was years and years ago, but I think that's a perfect word. He's evolved, and even Michael Del Zotto told us that.
Yeah.
When we had him on, he goes, "Man, he's a lot different than when I had him in New York when I was a kid. He's a lot calmer. He still gets on you.
More tactical, I
Yes,
think.
he
Yeah.
gets on you when he should, and coaches should be able to do that anyway. That's what makes me laugh sometimes. Where
You know, that's the funny thing. Like when they hired him, and I know that Dubinsky put out like, "Oh, pray for the Flyers players," and a lot of people had that same mentality, like, "Oh shit, you got to deal with this guy, right?" And you know, players, you know, elite athletes, you guys been around them enough. Riles, you were one. Like they're not used to being pushed.
Yeah.
How do you get there without being
right, I know.
pushed? Like
Seems so odd,
Yeah,
eh?
they're like, this is foreign. Like, how are you going to push an elite athlete? Well, how do you think he became an elite athlete? You don't come out of the womb and just be able to, like, you know, go up and down the ice.
Right.
I got news for you. Connor McDavid had to push to get to where he is, and Ovi and the great players, and they all do. So pushing a guy to uncomfortable levels, I think for some guys is welcomed.
right.
And-
100%.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
want that.
You want that.
Yeah. You should want that.
Yeah, you should want that. That's how you
Yeah,
maximize your team.
And
your
if you
squad.
don't want that, I don't want you.
Yeah, well, that's it, right?
And I think that's what he's
Bingo. Yep.
figuring out
Yeah.
right now with the team.
Yeah, and I think too, like a lot of Torts' track record, what it appears to the general public, is based on his media blurbs, right? So like that's all they see. They don't see him behind closed doors and having
Yeah.
communication with their players. And you have other coaches, I know, like John Stevens, for example, even Hack. They get knocked on for not being overly dramatic on the bench, showing emotional and stuff. But you don't think all these coaches push their players as well, just in different ways? I mean, that's what coaches do. But I think
Hack was as serious as a heart attack
Right, yeah.
when it was time.
yeah,
Right.
no doubt.
He wasn't going to be going crazy on the bench because his way of doing things was, hey, if the leader is out of control, then how do the people that I'm leading,
That's exactly
how they
it.
react?
Exactly it.
Yeah, I mean, and some guys like the Torts, he'll MF you up and down the bench if you don't do something right. But it's
Lavi
just
would
different.
too.
Oh,
You know,
oh, yeah,
like, he would too.
yeah.
You know that. You were down there.
yeah. So I mean, it's just you got to be who you are. You
Yeah,
can't be
right.
fake, right?
That's
Right.
it.
I mean, if you have a coach that's trying to message you and it's all bullshit and fake, and you're like, "Am I allowed to curse?"
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm going to. But like, if they're not
never
being authentic to who they are,
Yeah.
as a person, you see that and you're like, "This dude's phony."
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's trying to
Well,
be who we liked watching or something.
I
Yep.
used to have friends like, around when Hack was here, and they would be like, "Oh, like he's too stoic on the bench." I'm like, wait, do you go underneath and get into the locker room? Do you know what he does? Like, you have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
if he, like you just said, if he's out of control on the bench and he's
Mm-hmm.
your leader, there's a funny story about G where Hack, we were waiting on a review for the refs, and he's got everybody over at the bench. He goes, "Listen, whichever way it goes, let's just keep going. We're playing well. Stay
Yeah.
with it." And the guys are real quiet, and G goes, "If it doesn't go our way, I'm gonna fucking lose it." And scared away, and he was laughing.
It cut the tension.
And,
Yep.
and Hack even started laughing. It was pretty funny. But but yeah, you're right. You're a phony if you're
Yeah.
acting one way and you're not one way. That's
Just be authentic.
Be authentic, yeah.
100%.
Because that's one of the things, like John Stevens, like really, really kind of drilled into me was like maintaining composure. To your point, like if the leader is composed and calm, that trickles down to the rest of them. You know, there's a time to get worked up. Obviously, you're playing sports here, but that was the one thing I took away from John Stevens, and that was like that's his character, right? He gets fired up, but he picks his battles of when he shows it and how he shows it, and then behind closed doors. I mean,
Right.
you be careful, put your helmet back on between periods.
Yeah.
You should be flying, but that was one thing that I appreciated, is because it's so true, and I take that into my parenting. It's like if I'm frazzled and showing
Yep.
lack of composure, you don't think my kids are going to be like following the leader here, and
Yeah,
you know,
something
trickling
happens
down.
at the house and like the electricity goes out and you start freaking out like, "Oh my God," like the kids are gonna be like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing to ever happen." You're like,
Yeah, exactly.
No big deal. Let's pump the generator on.
Yeah.
Don't worry. The Uncrustables aren't gonna go bad.
Yeah, right.
All that. You're good to
They're
go.
allowed to eat those.
Those are off limits, anyways.
Not at your house.
No. Oh, man,
man.
that's great.
Yeah.
No, that's totally right on that. You hit the nail on the head with Torts there. Jason, what are your thoughts? Like, I know you love goalies. You're a bit of a
Little bit.
goaltender, yeah.
Yeah. I'm retired, but yeah.
Yeah, retired, but Carter Hart's play this year.
There's two elements of it, of what I've seen from him that I love. It's the on ice execution and style differences, and then the mental side of him. I've always been really impressed by his mental side, years ahead of his time for his age, and the way he processes, the way he prepares, the way he deals with
being a goalie in Philadelphia and being a goalie in the NHL and being a goalie that wore his country's jersey. I mean, there's a lot there. So for us, when we go, oh, yeah, you played for World Juniors, it's not that huge of a deal. In Canada, it's everything. I mean, they have TV
20,000
specials.
people
Yeah, no
in the
shit.
building when you're playing and you're 16, 17, 18 years old. It's a
Yeah.
pretty big
Pitting
deal.
the hopes of a country on a 20-year-old, right?
Yeah.
That's tough. And obviously playing that position, which is the last line, and you got to be different to play it because of the pressure that comes with it. And it's a weird position in sports. Like Rouse, you were an elite athlete, and elite athletes want to dictate and control. And a goalie's an elite athlete, and that mentality to control a game because you pick that position,
Yeah.
which is so consequential. But yet you get on the field of play and you don't have control. Like, that's a tough thing for a goalie. And I think Carter's taken some of that and taken it off the ice and go, I'm going to control everything up to the point where I can't control it. And that's where his preparation comes in. And I think this year, I talked to him over the summer, and he went home and he parked the last 2 years. Went out to California, played golf, played tennis with his buddies, reconnected after the pandemic and all those things. And I really felt like he parked the 2 years better this summer than he did prior. Didn't let one bleed into another. And he came in this year on, no preseason games in first 8 games to put up a .949 save percentage.
yeah.
I was like, shit, dude, you're never playing preseason again.
Yeah, I mean, why would you?
And that's really hard for a goalie. 'Cause let's face it, practice is not designed for a goalie.
Yeah, right. So
And so, he's just been so good. And even though it's weird to this point, 27 games in or whatever it is, he's let in some really leaky goals and ones that I know he doesn't like. Whether it's the one off the end boards or one that climbs his leg or, but he hasn't let that bother him at all. He's been able to really reset mentally in game. They've given up the first goal a ton.
yeah.
And when you're a team that has trouble scoring, and they score about 2.4 goals a game, and you give up the first goal, it's a hard spot for a goal. You go, I can't let anything else in if we got a shot. And he's approached it with, just pucks as they come, save by save and situation by situation. And to me, he's the anchor of the team going forward. You got to get a lot of pieces here in front of him, but if you can check that box in sports, it's like the quarterback in football.
Yeah.
You go into an offseason, you go, check, I'm good there. Everything else is a little easier to deal with. And I think he's just been excellent. I think he's a great ambassador for the team and a great citizen of the city. I think he's just a good kid, good man. So I love having him here.
Yeah, and to your point of him, his maturity level
Off the
is
charts.
just-
Yeah.
when he came in, you're like, he looks like he's 15, but
Wasn't shaving when he came
yeah,
in.
I know,
No,
he-
he
but
was not.
he's like a veteran. You talk to him, you hear what he says, and I spend quite a bit of time with him, and he's just such a pro.
Well, Ness, you know what he
already.
said when he came in, like the goalie graveyard of Philadelphia, right? His first response to that at 19 years old was, I have nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I was
Amazing
like,
perspective,
oh,
right?
man, what a great answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're right. Like, what do you have to do with Roman Czechmanik or
Right.
Tommy Soderstrom or Dominic Rousseau? Nothing.
Yeah.
So why carry their burden?
Yeah,
And he
it's true.
didn't. And I thought that was really cerebral and way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And to your point there, like you got that box checked. I think a lot of organizations are trying to find that box and check it, right? You have that, say, franchise goalie. Then the rest of the challenge is like building the rest of it.
Yeah.
We're getting bodies back. Lots is back. I talk about the rest of the pieces and say Lots' impact since his return and having that leadership role filled.
I think he means so much. He's not a super dynamic player. And when they re-signed him, it was in season when they extended him and they decided not to move him at the deadline. Talking about it at the time, I remember was, why do you do that here? You can get something for him. But I just thought the cost per acquisition to fill that hole would have been more than what you paid him. And you have the known commodity with Lots. To me, I said this on the pod, I just don't think that it was any mistake that they close out that game the other night against Colorado with Lots there.
Yeah.
I think he's just calming. It's when Niskanen was here, right?
Yeah.
Niskanen was not Bobby Orr. Some will believe that because of what happened when he left. But to me, what he did, the best thing that he did was in a game in the second period that was getting away from you, he'd go out and give you 3-0 burger shifts in a row where maybe you didn't do anything, but the other team didn't do anything. Just calm the game down. You played it from the top of the circles in the middle of the ice, and nothing happened. And then you lose that ability to have that guy that can just take a game down 3 gears and slow it down and go, okay, we're not going to grab momentum when they're going 100 miles an hour, but maybe we can grab momentum if we can get them down to 60. And then that's what he would do. I think Lotz does that a lot.
Yeah.
Plus, you know how he is. He cuts. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
he is.
Knows when to go funny, when to be serious. Great timing in that regard. I think he's a great leader, and he's a guy that clearly has a ton of respect in the room.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think the other, respect is earned. This guy came up to the NHL, played here for a year, then went down and rode the buses for a year to figure out how to be an NHL player.
Yeah.
If you don't gain respect by doing that and didn't bitch 1 second about it, at least not publicly. I know I would have bitched up and down, publicly and behind the scenes. But this guy went down there, took care of business, came back. This is what I need to be an NHL player. This is what I'm going to be. And mad respect for that.
Yeah, 100%. And I had him actually down with the Phantoms there when he had that stint. It was more than a stint. It was a full year.
Season, yeah.
And to your point, he had an amazing attitude. He came
Put
down.
his head
he
down,
was
right?
Like, yep. He was like every other guy on that team. He was trying to earn a spot back with the big club and put his head down and got a ton of minutes, reps.
Yep. Learned who he was.
Yeah, exactly. It's his humbling experience playing, obviously playing a bigger role down there, but knowing that he's probably going to work into a lesser role with the big club. But
that's hard too, Rouse.
It's hard to do.
To get on a bus
right?
and see the per diems way small, all that.
Yeah,
the meals
man.
suck. The hotels are half as good.
Yeah.
That's a first round pick. It's
You're
hard
like
to do.
Quiznos?
No.
Ruth Chris? or Quiznos? I don't know.
I like Quiznos when I'm totally buckled and that's it.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
I'm in the North American Hockey League now, the
In the
Philadelphia
NA.
Rebels, and I think,
Domino's,
what if
you
we
don't
had,
get
no, we
Quiznos.
did get Domino's the one night. You're right, we did.
What they had like a 2-for-1 special, right?
Yeah, right.
You guys go to like the blue light special
Actually,
buffets early.
They get Applebee's, but they only get the option of the healthy food.
Yeah.
They give them usually on the way somewhere, and then afterwards is usually like subs or something.
Subs, yeah.
You don't get the sodium special from Applebee's.
No,
you don't.
no,
You don't
they-
pee for like 4 days after eating.
Yeah, no, I don't know if they are really healthy, but they seem healthy. It's
Yeah.
like the grilled chicken with the.
It's
you know,
relative.
yeah.
Healthier.
Yeah, healthier. Yeah, it's not chicken
But
fingers and.
no, they don't. It's not too bad. It's better than some of the stuff that you used to eat way back in the
Oh,
day in
yeah.
the American League, man. Like it was bad.
It was total shit.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
When Hershey, we had to eat it though. The big they had a cheese. They
I
had all
remember
this
that
stuff.
place.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
it was
God.
just- yeah.
Shakey's.
Yeah, Shakey's,
Our
yeah.
boy Shaky. He was a goalie in the Flyers organization actually. But anyway, yeah, you're right. It is a little different getting on the bus after.
Yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's good though. I like being humbled is a good thing.
Yeah,
I got fired
think a
in
lot
radio.
of guys
It's
need
good.
that. Honestly, you see so
Yeah.
many egos, and the guys don't really understand where they fit in. They always
Yeah.
think that they're better than they are, or not as mature and developed as they are. I think that probably could happen to a lot more guys, and bring them back down to earth a little bit,
Yeah.
shake them up, and then
Yeah.
they're probably not that easy to do with contracts and the way the waivers and all that stuff works. But JVR back. I mean,
Yeah. One
how
game.
much do you see him contributing, and how long do you see him in a Flyers uniform? You think he's
When's the deadline?
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
when is the deadline?
Yeah,
Baller?
baller.
When is
It's
the deadline?
probably early March. Yeah, around then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, to me, you hate to lose a guy, especially when you're taking 55 per 82 goals out of the lineup with
Yeah.
him and Atkinson, and you're struggling to score. So you could use a guy like that. Helps obviously on the power play, and just a total pro.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
the guy. I think he's a lot like you, Roz, where he's just learned his body more and more and more to protect it and get the most out of it. I mean, that guy takes such good care of himself.
Yeah, he does.
Everything he puts in, he's conscious of his sleep and all that, which is so important. I think being out the 6 or 7 weeks could be good for him because there's less wear and tear. It's not like he had a knee that could recur.
Right.
It's the hand. I mean, the hand is everything, but being out, if he can get back in, get his hands and timing and everything back, and be playing well, I mean, he can help a team.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
can
oh, yeah.
really help a team because he's going to fit in anywhere.
Yeah, he scores some timely goals around the net, right? This is
Everybody
bread and
needs
butter.
net front
for
guys,
sure.
right?
Yeah, big body.
I mean, him and Pavelski are the two best deflectors of the puck I've seen in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think he fits in with anybody. So there'll be a market for him. Are you going to get a 2023 first? Probably not, because that's gold currency right now.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you can get a second and a fourth for him, an expiring deal, you're going to eat half of it. Maybe you get a mid-level prospector and a pick. No problem.
Yeah, and give him a shot.
Yeah.
Give him a chance.
Yeah, I'd
as
like to
well.
see that
He's
guy go
he's
on a good run.
Good man. Good.
He gets trapped in Toronto for all those years, and like that team can't get out of the first round because they
Yeah.
got no goaltending.
Yeah.
Then you pin your hopes to Matt Murray, and what are you doing? But I don't know. I just don't know you can pay roster construction wise so much money to 4 guys and expect to be able to build a team in
Yeah.
this sport. You got to be able to build a team.
Yeah, it hasn't seemed to work well for him yet. So
They're in Edmonton, right?
yeah, right.
I mean, if you got no D in goaltending, you're never going to get through 4 rounds of the
No
playoffs.
chance.
No chance.
No.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then, obviously Atkinson's still, banged up. Fully healthy Flyers team. I mean, still struggling scoring goals.
Yep. I mean, they weren't going to be a team that was going to go up and down the ice with Couturier, Atkinson, and JVR anyway. They don't have that guy that you can chuck over the boards where the other team goes, oh, fuck, he's on the ice, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think you need one of those guys. You
Oh,
had
yeah.
G for years. And even when G kind of faded off a little bit, like he was still so smart the way he played.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm not as explosive or fast as I was, but I'm playing chess. You dickheads are playing checkers.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, for
like, I'll
sure.
trap you. And
That was one of the things we've talked about. I mean, I don't know where you're. Well, Johnny Gaudreau is a different story, but I'm talking about G. You still need to replace his points, and I'm not sure we did.
oh, well, I'm sure we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice about it. Well said. And that
You were
was
trying
one
to
of the-
soft pedal there a little bit.
I was,
Nasty.
I
Come
was,
on.
I was, man. But that going further with that is like I just felt like, in my opinion, like we had to get Johnny Gaudreau. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Some
I'm on the
people
other
disagree.
side of that.
You're on the other side.
Yeah.
See, we've had a few people be on the other side of that.
I love the player. I do.
One, he brings definitely going to put more people in your seats. Two, it makes it look like you are opening the checkbook, like we were all told. And he's been an all-star his whole career, and he's banging on the door to come here.
Yeah. Amy wanted to come here. It's a rare combination of a really good player that wanted to come here in a situation where this isn't exactly beachfront property right now, right?
Right.
So you go, how can you not capitalize on that? And I thought it probably took a prudent approach to not do it because it's very tempting. I love the player. And the year he came off of last year, I mean, he was a plus 60 last year.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That line with Lindholm and Kachuk was perfect for him. But to me, there's too many problems in the homestead to be putting the vanity bathroom in right now. And he was the vanity
point.
bathroom. Like, I got leaky plumbing. I got electrical issues. I got all kinds of stuff going wrong in this house. I can't go put in, a brand new travertine heated tile shower right now. That's Gaudreau.
He just did.
Yeah, but this is Riles. I mean,
you do things differently now.
Riles ain't putting those dogs on cold tile, right? But like, and he's 29 and he's a great player. And yeah, he would have been. I got caught up in it around free agency too, where I'm going, I'd love to watch him every night. Like, who wouldn't, right?
Right,
You'd be a
right.
fool not to. And the story is great for him to come home, being a guy that played, grew up playing here, Tier 1 and everything. But I just didn't think it was the right time.
Yeah, we've heard people say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. My same approach was kind of with DeBrincat too. Even though you had to trade for him, and the package wasn't that exorbitant. I thought it'd be higher than it was without Otto did. But I was going, I'm not going to give up anything if the guy can just walk. And
Yeah.
they're different because Gaudreau would have locked in.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think it was time for that, coupled with the 2023 draft coming. And that's a crapshoot. I mean, even if you're the worst team, you got an 18% chance at
Right.
landing number one, which is, basically, and what the math tells me, if you got an 18%, you got an 82% chance of not getting it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We always look at the
Simple math.
Yeah, like they're not great odds, but I just didn't think it was the right time to do that. Unfortunately, I wish the organization was in a different spot where they could add a sports car in the driveway.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I don't think it was the right time to do that, even though I'm sentimental to the situation.
Yeah.
Right. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been battling that one back and forth a little bit, and then he goes to Columbus, and they're like, bottom of the barrel. It's like
They're
like
bad.
Holy
it's
cow! Did you
like-
see the game last night?
Tage
yeah.
Thompson.
Holy, how about
Yeah.
that dude? Right?
Yeah,
4 in
no,
the first
Yeah,
period.
it's not bad. It's not a bad
he
shooter.
had 6 points. He had 5 goals and an assist in 10 and a half minutes of ice time.
Yeah.
That's the most efficient ice time I've
like your men's
ever
league
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played in a lot of those beer league games
Against.
as the goalie in beer league. I'm looking over at the bench, going, "We don't have a fucking backup." Or I played against I played against Riles one time. I'm playing for I forget which charity it was with Eric Ty.
Oh,
The guy
yeah,
with one
right.
arm. I played with against him growing up. He was on That's Incredible. And I'm in the room before the game. We're getting ready to play the Flyers alumni. And I'm getting dressed. I got my bottoms on. And I go, "Yo, Ty, where's the other goalies?" He goes, "You're it."
Yeah.
I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're the only one." I go, "Dude, you don't play against the alumni with one goalie." These guys like don't come in the zone and just come in and shoot and leave.
Yeah.
They just cycle you down low, burn your quads through your pants, right?
right.
And
Yeah.
then you get like 82 shots and you're like dead to the world. Then I had to fight the animal. I had to fight Frankie because I talked shit about him on the radio. I said, if you can skate from goal line to goal line without falling.
Oh boy.
He came after you?
Oh, yeah. He had the jersey over my head. My mask went flying.
No
Yeah.
way. Oh, that'd have been something.
And Riles was nowhere in sight to fucking
where
bail
were
me
you?
out.
I don't know. Sitting on the bench, riding the pine.
Laughing.
Riding the pine, yeah.
Like, look at this idiot. He had
Oh,
the
man.
balls to say something about
Oh
the animal.
my god, that's funny.
I thought maybe when Frankie steps over the red line and fires the blaster right at the goalie's head, that he
Well,
might
he
have pissed
came
you
in
off.
on me at one point, like, and tried to just take a bomb from the top of the circle and totally flubbed it. I
Yeah,
laughed at him. It like
Okay.
dribbled in and I covered it. I'm like, well, he's using like a PPMG 5030, like a freaking hunk of tree.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, dude, get a composite.
Yeah, right.
Uh, you should have seen the other night. Riles and I had to play in a game.
Yeah.
And the goalie was just right under his skin, boy.
Oh, yeah.
He was wound. I haven't seen him wound up
Tight.
since he played only maybe one other time. The guy was chirping. I mean, he was trying to be funny, but someone was getting a little wound up.
Well, I played this guy before, and he was doing the same thing.
I said to him, actually, when he said one thing, I looked at him, we're taking a face off, and I said, "You're going to get one right in the throat in a minute.
Yeah.
You better,
Better go buy a dangler, buddy."
Back down. And he kept going. Right, you did rip one off his mask, I think, or tried
I tried to,
anyway.
yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, it's men's league, and I got thick skin. Like I've
Yeah.
been chirped before, obviously, but like I'm like, God damn! I'm like, dude, lay off. This is men's league. I mean, like, dude.
I
you
wanted to
need
go to like the old man league, but I was like, I can't do it. Like they have like over 40s, you
Yeah.
know? And
That's
I
what we
get
play.
calls all the time like, "Hey, can you fill in tonight over 40?" And I'm like, "Nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it." Because like I'm gonna just look like a donkey if I go. Because some fucking bender's gonna come in like on a breakaway, and as a goalie, he's just showing me this dude's going high glove. He's locked in, and then he's gonna miss it, and he's
Yeah.
gonna go low
The
block,
fans are
and
gonna go,
I'm gonna look
"That's
like the dick,
right on
right?
the ice through the stick.
Yeah, and I'll be like,
Yeah, exactly.
so.
It was pretty funny. That was
I've taken
good.
enough concussions. I'm out.
Yeah. Is that why you're retired?
Yeah.
Concussions. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make it to 50. My hips are gassed. I got to get them done.
Oh, really?
And I played one game after 50, and I caught one right square, like in the mouth area. It wasn't a hard shot, but it caught me square and flat, and I could smell the sulfur and everything. I was fucked up for a couple of weeks, and at my height, like head's in the danger zone.
Yeah, right.
You know, like let's face it. And I've had a ton over my career playing, and I think enough's enough. It's scrambled enough.
I don't blame you.
Sunglasses all the time because of the
Oh
light.
yeah, man. Once you start
I'm a
screwing with the
mess.
head, you got to make some serious decisions.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sure I'll play again. I'm on the ice coaching for my kids' team.
Oh, yeah,
so
good.
Oh, cool.
that's enough for now, and I'll probably get back out and play in that old man league just to feel it a little bit. But for now,
well, Nasty and I are in the old man league.
35 and over.
Yeah, still old man.
But
they dropped ours to 38. 38 and
yeah,
over. I'm
really?
like, well,
What a
couldn't get
cutoff.
enough guys, right?
Oh, okay.
Well, there's still teams that have guys under 35.
Yeah,
We
sure.
know
Yeah, especially when everybody comes home from college and all that shit.
yeah, squeeze in a few ringers.
Yeah.
You bring up the concussion issue. I mean, Voracek.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Shaky.
God,
Sad
I'm
news.
sick.
Dealing
for
with
him.
that is messed up and sounds like it doesn't sound good.
Doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be it for him.
What a shame, hey? Just like that.
I'm sick for him because is there a better dude, right?
Oh,
Oh, he's a
That never
beauty.
advertised how good of a dude he is.
right.
Like, you know where I worked in NBA 1 down there,
Yep.
and every game, win, lose, no matter what, that dude had a group there. Not of friends, but of wounded warriors, special needs, something, all the time. And he would come into that room. They could have got their ass kicked 8-1. He was in that room shaking everybody's hand, taking pictures, talking with them, giving them real time. And I used to embarrass him because I'd be like, I know you don't tell anybody about it, but I do. And the fact that you do it and don't tell anybody about the stuff you do makes it even more genuine. I feel horrible for him because he was such a good player.
Yeah.
Like puck protection
Oh
ability.
yeah.
Like,
Explosive.
that's like a Czech Republic
Yeah,
big Yager
right.
ass
yeah,
thing,
right.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And he was so good at possession and great career. I hope it's not over for him. And frankly, he's one of those kind of characters you need in the game.
Yes.
That's got the
Oh,
balls to
God.
sit up there and say something.
Yeah.
'Cause we always complain. Media always, why even talk to them? They don't say anything. It's all cliches. We got to work hard, cycle, get pucks deep, blah, blah, blah. He'll go up there and say something. And then the media gives him shit for saying something. It's
Yeah.
like, which one do you want?
Yeah. Right.
And he will say whatever he's
Oh,
thinking.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
for sure.
that's why I loved him.
I used to laugh. There was this guy. I don't know who the guy was, but there was a guy that sat about 4 rows back to my left when where I was on the bench right there, where you and I would always see each other in warm ups and talk. And this guy was about 4 or 5 rows back, and he would just give it to the boys. We're on a power play if we didn't score.
Oh.
And he would be yelling, and you could hear him because it'd be, you could just hear the guy, and Jake would be like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! You think we're not trying?
You're not helping.
He would always single this guy out, and I think the guy loved it because
Oh,
he
yeah, I'm sure he
always
did.
said it. But
You got a pension.
Yeah, we were in Columbus. It might have been my last year when I was with the team. We were at Columbus, and there was a guy right beside our bench, like second row, and his little daughter was with him. I felt bad for her because she was upset. He's just giving it to Jake. You fucking traitor. You traitor. And he finally turns and he goes, "You guys fucking traded me." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" He goes, "Shut the fuck up." And he goes, "I'm sorry, sweetheart. Your dad's a fucking idiot."
I didn't trade me.
And I'm like standing right beside him, and I'm like, "It's okay." Like to the little girl, she's like starting to cry. So he's like, "Give her." You're
like, "Here's a
stick."
buck.
Yeah,
No, I gave her a
yeah,
stick.
yeah.
I came back, gave her. A
Oh,
stick.
you went big and gave her a twig, huh?
And the dad, and for Jake, that's huge because he doesn't go through many sticks. Skates, yes. Sticks, no. I made all his sticks at that time, and he used the stick till he broke it.
Yeah.
Like he was not hard on the stick budget, but he says, "You traded me." Because Columbus traded him to Philly. It was pretty funny, and then he goes back there. But yeah, Jake was awesome. I'm sad for him. Hopefully, like you said, maybe takes the rest of this year and see.
Yeah.
He's in the last year of his deal, correct?
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's
So-
right. I forgot about that. Oh, he does.
One more?
Okay, baller says. he's
Well,
got one
shit,
more.
then collect the dough and just chill.
Yeah.
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 Frick, you earned it.
No doubt.
I mean, look at the guy's point per game numbers.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's one of those guys that I don't think will be remembered for the player that he was.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic player.
I agree. Yeah. Even better, dude. Man, he cracks
Yeah.
me up. We had
Yeah.
him on here, man. He's just like a cartoon character. He just-
I just love how
Just look at him, it's like-
disheveled he looked
Yeah.
all the time. It was great.
oh man, he is classic.
That fucking hairdo
so
was
there's
just
a-
out of control with the beard
He
and
comes
everything.
cruising in. He's got a $5,000 suit on and $1,000 pair of shoes, and his hair's everywhere.
Yeah.
His beard's awful.
He looks like he was
Wiry.
groomed by Castaway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Guys would just give it to him too. They'd be like, "Oh my god, like clean up." He's like, "Why? I don't fucking need to."
Yeah.
Just like, okay, man, whatever. But beauty,
Beauty.
for sure.
Shifting gears, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the whole big rig Pat Maroon thing the other day with
yeah.
the Jack Edwards.
Jack Edwards, such a jerk.
What a
off.
jerk off, eh? Like,
There's a lot. I've been a media member for a long time, but there's a lot of people in the media that needs the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah, I
And
agree with
he's
that.
right at the top of the list.
he has been for a long time, I feel.
Yeah, he's just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
Well,
like,
wait, tell me how you really feel.
but it's fine to like be critical of a guy's
Right, right.
play and base it on your opinion, however educated or uneducated it is. But to go there, I think, is just so far below line. Like I worked at WIP for years. I was management there, and that was not an easy management job. I mean, you had Eskin, Cataldi, and the place was built on ego of the talent.
Yeah, right.
Tom Bigby did
Yeah,
it that way on
true,
purpose.
yeah.
I want my talent to have ego.
Yeah.
So he built their egos up.
Yeah.
And they were very critical of the teams. I sat through 100 meetings where executives from teams came in and said, "We're fine with you criticizing us, but you cannot get personal."
Yeah.
Right.
You know, because
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the thing. And what Jack Edwards did was be over the line of it was a hack job. And I think it's embarrassing for the industry and embarrassing. I mean, he's not embarrassed because he gets attention out of it and
Yeah.
clearly doesn't care. I thought it was bad.
I
I thought
did-
Maroon handled it
I
publicly
thought,
well.
I thought it was amazing
That
how he
was
handled
amazing.
it. Yeah, it was.
I'm hearing that behind the scenes he didn't handle it quite as
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. Well,
he was red assed.
It was, yeah.
and he should be. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm him, I request to meet the guy face to face.
Sure.
And I'm not saying get physical or anything, but like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it's funny, Jason. You like in locker rooms, like you know, speaking of Jake, like not in the best shape,
Mm-hmm.
but the guys were here in the room. We could joke with each other. That's
Yeah.
not something you say over.
Never.
Like
Not on
you,
national
that's,
television.
You don't do.
No.
I wouldn't say that in front of people. I didn't know that we joke around with a guy,
Yeah.
you know, in a room.
yeah, you
or
give a
something.
guy shit, you know?
Yeah, you know, for fun. But that's just you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean-
you can't do that.
And it wasn't just like a one little
kept it
blurb. It
going.
was like
Oh, no, it was a whole
15,
shift.
20 seconds. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just dragged it out and couldn't stop
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, I thought it was really low class. But again, considering the source,
Yeah.
not shocked at all.
I thought there had been like a little bit of cancel culture action happening after
Yeah, I
that.
thought-
or like
I
maybe the
thought-
league would step in because of all
Yeah.
these things, you know, body shaming.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, right? I mean, it's like not.
It's going on everywhere.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I got young kids, and you know, you guys do too. I mean, it's like the shit that goes on, the things that people say now with no repercussions at all. Like, it's got an effect on people. I have daughters. I mean, it's
Yeah.
These girls are brutal.
Yeah. I got two of them,
Brutal.
too. So does Nast. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough world out there, but that's the stuff that can be avoided, right? I mean, it's like
It's unnecessary.
unnecessary. It was just like,
Well, then, like, people hear that and they think it's okay.
yeah, I
You
know.
know, and it's like, for the people that think it's funny, like, you need your ass kicked too.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
There's nothing funny about it. So I just think it's really bad form. And frankly, I blame their employer too. The employer should have to step in, suspend the guy, do something, show them that there's repercussions. For
yeah. I
acting
agree
like
with that. Yeah,
And they
Do
don't.
message sending. Yeah,
Yep, they don't do it.
No.
It's a joke.
I thought that I would see something the next day. You know what I mean? Like after Patty was very good with what he did.
yeah,
yeah.
I thought at least Jack would come out with
Yeah,
something.
apologize,
or the
yeah,
Bruins
right,
or
yeah.
Statement.
Yeah, some sort of
something.
statement. Yeah,
I thought, to be honest, I thought the Bruins should have too. I agree with you. They should have come out and said, "Hey, we don't endorse what Jack said. We think it was wrong." Blah blah blah.
Right.
And whether you get a quote from Jack Edwards or not, I thought the
Yeah.
Bruins should have come out and supported a player in the PA.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. But that was interesting. But I know Patty. I coached him. He's a good guy. I don't know what was done, or said behind the scenes, but what he did publicly, I thought was classy. You
Well,
know what I mean? It's like-
his PR group did the right job there.
Yeah.
You know, he was
Yeah.
probably pissed when he heard about it, and
Sure.
they said, "Look, that part is what it is. Let's do something good with it now."
Yeah.
And Patty being smart enough and savvy enough at this point in his career, maybe earlier in his career he wouldn't have done that.
he
or
would have
else,
not done that. I'm sure.
You know, but let's turn it into something positive and create a little awareness, and and he did, and good on him for doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely a silver lining and a positive out of that whole thing. But
Yeah,
could
there's
have
so
been
much
avoided.
negativity in the world. Like, we don't need to add to that.
Yeah,
shit.
I know, right?
It's the
Exactly.
truth, too.
Shifting back to the Flyers, outside of Carter Hart, which is a highlight of the season, say Torts, anything else that's jumping out to you that you're
TK.
liking? TK, yeah.
Yeah. He just came in such good physical condition. Like, I hated seeing him go out for that period of time with
Yeah.
such a
Right.
nothing burger injury kind
Yeah.
of thing. But to me, I've always felt like, you guys have been around him. I've always felt he's a guy that wants to be pushed and wants to be coached hard.
Yep.
And I think with G leaving has really opened up a space of air for him as a leader. Maybe when G was here, and this isn't a knock against G, it's just the way it was. But without G here, I think he's grabbed a little bit more of that leadership thing, and I think that's good for him. Like, I think he should end up with a letter on his jersey
Yeah.
because I think it invests him more. He's been a leader every level he's been at. He's been a captain everywhere he's been until he got to the NHL. And I just think he's worked really hard and been really receptive to the coaching. I think he's you know personally better than I do, but I think he's a pleaser. He wants to please people, and that goes in how he's being coached too. I mean, TK's on the PK.
Right.
I mean, did you ever think you'd say that?
No.
I didn't either. It's pretty good. I blocked 2 shots last night in succession.
Yep. I saw. Yeah, I was there.
And he's working his tail off. I really like the way he's come in. He's always been such a chill dude, right? I mean, there are guys, I've been doing that job for a long time, 15 years. And there's guys like in their rookie or second year, they come in and I'll talk to them in between periods or whatever, and they look like they're going to fucking faint. Like they're nervous. I'm like, you're just talking to me, dude. No big deal. Nobody's listening anyway. Right? He comes in first time. He's like, "Yeah, what's up? Puts his feet up. How you doing?" You know, totally chill.
Yeah.
Like he's 34.
Yeah.
Been through the run with the media. Totally cool. Comfortable with himself. I'm like, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because like I swear, Nolan Patrick, I thought he was going to fall asleep on his stick one night. I'm interviewing Patty, and he's got his stick upside down, and his head's on the blade, and I think he's half asleep. He never said shit all anyway, and I get done the interview, and I look over at Zach Hill, and he goes, "I'll talk to him."
Yeah.
I go, "Don't worry about it." But like Kartsy was the same way. Like, you see Kartsy in the hallway and stuff, and we'd be shooting the shit about NASCAR or whatever.
Yeah.
Great dude. As soon as I put a microphone in front of him, it was like, "I'm not giving you dick."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to call me in here again.
That's Carts for sure.
Yeah.
What makes you feel any better? He turned us down for Nasty Knuckles, so they don't want
said
to.
he wants to wait till he's
he wants to
done.
wait till he's done, but he don't want to talk.
Look, dude, that dude's
don't wanna
never
talk.
going to be done.
Yeah, I know.
Drafted in 03. Like,
Yeah.
you're still ticking.
Got another 5 years left
Still
in him easy.
Yeah.
Greek god body.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ripped to shreds.
Yeah. Built.
Still have
built
never
for
seen him
hockey.
take a slap shot.
Yeah.
He just takes that nasty ripper, you know?
Oh yeah, man. Deceiving shot. Yeah, I like the TK play for sure. I mean, he's been I say gold
Hayes
all year.
too.
Hayes, yeah.
Yeah, Hazy's looking.
I think that Torts did something brilliant with Hayes. That move to the wing, maybe it doesn't look brilliant in the grand scheme of things, but I didn't think Hayes was ticketed to the wing for another year or two until he was like 33 and really couldn't move. Like, Hazy's not the most fleet of foot guy.
Yeah.
Like, we all know that.
He's deceptive though. Like, you know, with his,
Yeah, 'cause he can
looks
go slow
guys
and
off.
burst.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I think he's got, one of the top puck protection guys in the league.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you look at the guy's got, 28 points in 27 games. It's the best statistical start to his career. And we were talking to Torts the other night, and he said this. He said, earlier in my career, I would have died on the hill of getting him to do the right things defensively away from the puck. He goes, but he's 30 years old. Like, he is what he is in that regard. So how can I get him to help my team the most? Well, I got to accentuate his strengths, which is offense and playmaking, and I got to mitigate his weakness, which is defending down below the bottom of the circles. So make him a winger. Plus, as a center, he was a guy that always played on the periphery anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a drive the middle kind
Right.
of player.
Right. No.
Play makes everything off the wall, so it makes sense. And boy, does he look good. And as long as Hazy didn't take it personally, like, I'm a center,
Yeah.
and accepting of the wing, from which I understand he is, because it's only going to help him.
Right.
Like, the people look at Drew and go, "You're not a center anymore. You ain't shit." No, you're on the wing now. You had 102 points, by the way, on the wing.
Yeah.
So, you look at it, you go,
Right.
at some point you go, you appreciate the lessened responsibility in the D zone to help the team as best you can.
Yeah.
And Hayes is, he's piling up points on a team that doesn't have a lot of NHL talent.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It
you
is.
get the top lines defending you every night. So, got to give him credit.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. Another guy I'll mention, maybe two of them, but Zach McHugh in the games that I've seen or at least gone live and see, like, he might be like one of the better players on the ice. This fucking guy is like, he's grinding. man.
working,
He's like
man.
The Energizer
yeah,
Bunny, isn't he?
Energizer Bunny. He's making shit happen. I know he's obviously He's not gonna score you a bunch of goals, but like he's generating energy. Like again, with the team that they have right now, at least like there's something there. And then Delorier, I think seven fights, which is more than 12 teams, total.
Combined.
And then I think there's like was like 3 or 4 teams that didn't even have 7 fights combined. Not that 7 fights is. I mean, early in the season is actually quite a bit, but. At least doing their role, staying in their lane, bringing what they can. Just I think the issue is always about scoring goals, but there's some pieces there to be.
Yeah.
Well, there's two guys
on.
that like here's your job, and like I always say in team sport, whether coaching or watching or whatever, like do your job.
Do your job.
As soon as you try to do somebody else's job, now I got 2 dudes
There
not
you
doing
go.
their job.
Yeah.
And like go out there and be who you like. McEwen, like watching him, he's just a bowling ball.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it has any control, but it does because
Yeah.
he's pinpoint. But he's like, look, I know I'm not going to go out there and dangle around 5 guys and snipe you, but I'm going to go to forecheck the balls off you and create a turnover and create opportunity. And the last couple games, we've seen a requisite fourth line with a guy like Patrick Brown in the middle or Lazinski, and then Delorier and McEwen. And the 3 of them together, I think, can be really effective. Can almost be like that Clutterbuck, Zizekas, Matt Martin line.
Yeah, right.
right.
Sure.
Where you're not going to get scored on, but they're going to create a lot of energy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys will do that. And just the presence of those two. And I know the fighting thing is much debated, and there's a generation that believes it has no place in the game. I think it still has a place in the game. I mean, obviously, we're not emptying the benches anymore, and I don't love the predetermined fight, and I don't like having to answer for a clean hit fight either. But if it's organic, it's got a place in the game, because having guys like that, having guys like Riles makes you feel bigger.
Oh,
They make you
100%.
feel protected. It's a reality. You know what I mean? And I know that when Risto was first acquired, I was going back and forth with G about it. And I just said, what does a guy like that do for you? And he's like, people don't understand. There's no analytic that can tell you what a guy like, because if we're down at one end of the ice and we're getting the shit kicked out of us physically, crushed in front of the net, everything, and then they go down the other end and it's like they're at the country club. He goes, that there's an effect on us that way.
Mm-hmm.
When a guy like that is the opposition, he's there. You got to have your head on a swivel, because he will step up at a blue line and take you out.
Radko Gudas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like Goody
exactly.
was great at it.
Oh yeah.
You have your head on a swivel
Yeah.
when you're playing against
Because
Florida
you knew
Panthers.
that he was coming, and sometimes he may be over the line.
He may be.
Oh yeah.
The reputation
And
was
that,
well
trust
earned.
me, that's in your mind.
big
As
time.
a player,
Big
you
time,
know
yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
Ronaldo was the same way, unpredictable.
Yep.
Even Steve Downey back in the day. There was, obviously been a few of them over time, just through the Flyers organization. That,
Yeah, that's just. Yeah.
But it's the variable that you just can't quantify, right? It's
To be honest with you, it's a winning variable.
Yeah,
though.
it is, man. It's
Yeah.
You have to have it.
X factors.
agree.
It's like not about.
Yep.
It's not about the fight. It's about the psychology of
Yeah.
accountability, right? It's like knowing that guy's on the ice or on the bench, that you will have to actually maybe deal with this, answer the bell somewhere down the line.
I got this question the other day when I was doing the podcast about, the Flyers self-identifying as a tough team and a hard team to play against. And the guy said, why can't they self-identify as a highly skilled team? I said, well, because first of all, you can go out, you can self-identify and get toughness. It's easy to get toughness, easier than to go out and get high-end skill.
Yeah.
You have to get the high-end skill,
Yeah.
but you got to have both.
Yeah.
If you want to win and win
wanna win,
anything,
you have to
you
have
got to have both.
Sure.
So, I mean, we saw it with Tampa. They didn't. They had no grit, and Tort's team swept them. And then they went out and they got Gaudreau and they got Coleman, and they go out and they win back-to-back cups and the rig.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no mistake that helped them.
Right.
Every skill guy on that team felt a lot more protected with those guys in the lineup.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sure.
Well, even like adding like Corey Perry, he's
He's
like
100,
fighter, but he's like he's feisty,
nasty.
he's nasty, he's
Yeah,
he's
oh, yeah.
hard with the stick.
He may
hard to
be
play
the
against.
dirtiest guy in the league in the last 20 years, to be honest with
100%.
you.
Yeah, I
even
agree,
more
I
than
agree with
Danny.
that.
Yeah.
A little unpredictable, right? Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
and you know what you're up against. Is he the toughest, best fighter? No, but
Yep.
he's hard to play against. And then you got
Very
a couple
hard
of
to
those
play
guys. It's
And
like
Kessler was the same way,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Just
Oh, Cass was
nasty.
Nasty. Yeah.
Just nasty what they would do to you. I mean,
Yeah.
to do anything to win,
You remember when Corey Perry was playing in Anaheim and they were playing the Kings, and he and Jeff Carter from the London, Ontario,
Yeah.
and Jeff, there's a TV timeout, and Jeff's got his gloves sitting there, and Corey Perry reaches over, squirts water in both of his gloves. You know, like,
Just
he's
soaks them.
Just
a
soaks
dick.
them. And Jeff's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
but he does way worse than that. But I just
Yeah,
always
yeah.
thought that was like,
That was like a
so
gentle-
Yeah, if he could have whipped it out and pissed at him, he would have.
true. That's a good point. But I just thought, like, he'll do anything, you know, like, to fucking get
And
you
it's
off
his
your
buddy
game.
too,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Like it's like I'm gonna do anything to get you on tilt.
Yep. Yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you got to have those.
I love dudes like that.
Yeah, you gotta have
They're
those
funny
guys.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you before we let you go here. You've worked with a ton of players, different personalities, coaches. Who is your favorite player, coach? Anybody?
Player's easy.
Yeah.
That's as easy as it gets, and that's Danny
Yeah.
Briere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Fair enough. Yeah.
You guys know him. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just such a class. I say this to his face. Like, I don't make any bones about it. I've told him before. He's just such a classy guy.
Yeah.
As a player, he has never changed from player to post-career to business operations to now hockey operations. He hasn't changed at all. And he just gives you honest and answers with integrity and delivers them in a way that's never combative or demeaning, or he's just right there. You know, he's just a good person. So I've always said Danny's been my best interaction, not only in hockey, in all sport.
Yeah. Amazing.
I mean, hockey players are the best. The only reason I still do it is because the players are as good as they are.
Yeah.
If I was covering baseball or basketball, I would have quit long ago.
Yeah. Right.
Because the players are great guys.
Yeah.
Like you guys have been around this game your whole life. The sport does not let you get all big-headed. It just doesn't. The room knocks you down.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big element of it. But yeah, Danny's was always great. I've always found a lot of the French Canadian guys I get along with well.
Yeah.
Gagne was awesome.
Yeah. Great guy.
You know what I mean? There's only been a few guys that I haven't really meshed well with. Like, for some reason, I never meshed well with Braden Coburn. I just felt like he just had a look on his face, like resting bitch face with me. And it was just like I don't want to answer anything you have to say. You know, like, so I never meshed with him. So I just started to avoid it. And Ghost was a guy too.
Ghost. Yeah.
In the beginning, it was fine, but I was really critical of him after year two. I thought the league could adapt to him, and I wasn't buying into a lot of the hype because I saw a guy that was incredibly. What's the right word to describe his game? Like theatrical or dramatic, the way he played.
right.
So there were these crazy plays, diving at the blue line to keep
Yeah.
it in like a shortstop, and crazy goals. But I just felt like in the D end, like, what a mess.
There's a lot of holes there.
Yeah, and couldn't win a board battle to save his ass, right? So I was critical. I was on the radio at the time, and I guess he heard it, and he didn't like it. So whatever. I mean, no skin off my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you have to deal with that in your position, right? It's like you got
Not
to be
anymore.
honest, critical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do the radio show anymore, but I was on the radio for 4 hours, 20 hours a week. So
Jeez.
you say some things, you get asked, you give your opinion, and you stand by it. And I mean, there were things that I said on the air that people loved, some that people hated. G and I became closer because of things I said on the radio. I was a big supporter of his.
Yeah.
And he used to ask me about the radio show quite a bit. And then, I mean, I had Phillies players come up to me when I was in the clubhouse one time, asking me if I was the guy that used to do the imitation of Gabe Kapler.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And he's like, can you do it? And I did it for like 3 of the guys. And they're like, keep doing it. Because I did this whole like George Takei thing, like, oh, hi, I'm Gabe Kapler. Oh, bye. That whole thing.
Yeah,
right.
And the players like fucking loved it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So, but yeah, you never know who your audience is. And all the players, they claim like, oh, we don't read the papers, we don't listen to the radio.
Everybody.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Everybody's
They
right.
can quote you for.
check following the Twitter.
Yeah,
yeah.
Twitter feeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
True.
he had me. Well, Jake had me blocked, so I got caught up in one of his block
did you?
page.
Yeah.
And I never said anything about him, but like I was on a tweet that somebody criticized him, so he blocked everybody on it. So I called him out. I texted him and called him out, and he unblocked me.
Oh, no way.
I was like, I didn't say shit about you. And he's like, oh, I must have blocked you by accident, and he unblocked me. So.
Yeah. I think a lot of those guys listen and watch more media than they
Oh, yeah.
they definitely lead on to.
Big time, yeah.
Yeah, they want to hear the scoops. They want to know what's being said.
Yeah, eventually, like if you become friendly with somebody, well, you said this, and I'm like, I thought you didn't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can quote you chapter and verse.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, okay. Like when I got denied by Ghost for him to come on and promote the SPCA, I knew something was up.
Yeah.
And that's when I pieced
Figured
it
it
together.
out, yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to promote your dog charity, brother. You
Yeah.
know?
Right. Trying to help you out.
Yeah, I was critical and it
Doing
is
my
what it
job,
is.
right?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
yeah, it's a challenging space, I guess, right? You got to be honest. You got to do your job. That's what you're getting
Yeah,
paid
it's
for,
your
right?
opinion.
Gotta
It's
be
like
your
Rupper
right?
said, you
Yeah.
know, you just,
and you got to be authentic
You
too.
have to be, yeah.
This city knows when you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They spot a phony a mile away.
Yeah.
I mean, the only question left is, what am I leaving this fucking place with? What mask am I sneaking out of here from Nasty's
yeah.
Cove down here? You got some
the
great
options
buckets in
there.
here.
I've got the lot of them are in the cave, but we just threw these up for the show.
Oh, they're beauties. I mean, you got Angus on that Carter mask. You got
Carter's, yeah.
Moose's very old school style
He
there.
made that for me actually. It was awesome.
This Franny
for
did this?
for my 2000th game. You see on the top. It says-
Oh yeah. So Moose did this for you.
yeah, he wore that.
Damn.
He wore it for a while. He wore it longer than he was going to. Actually, you can see it got some,
Awesome.
Took a
And
few to that
flat
head.
matte finish on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
I
a
like
great
the
guy
flat
too.
matte.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our good buddies.
Yeah. Right on, Jason. Well, I know you have some stuff to take care of and a little trek back home. So we
Yeah.
appreciate you making
Thanks.
the
It's
great
trek
to be
last
here.
second here.
Yeah, man.
I watch you guys all the time, and it's weird. I like watching. Like I don't like to just listen. I'm subscribed on YouTube and everything. So subscribe on YouTube. I know like 88% of you are not subscribed on YouTube, but you watch this. So subscribe, leave a comment, and like it.
We appreciate
Get the
that.
whole riff, right?
He just saved us.
You got the whole riff. You got to do it. That help other hockey fans and fans of Philadelphia Flyers find this great content. But no, I appreciate what you guys do. It's awesome. I love that so many people are talking about the game and the team and everything. And I love the game still. Like it's got its hooks in me. And I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah, us too. And is there anything else you want to promote before we let you go? Anything?
I do Flyers daily, and obviously everybody's going to see this content on my Stick to Hockey Live. We're going to share it. The F1 season's kind of in pause mode right now for the off season, but we'll be back in March for that. And I do the Odd G's podcast with Harry Mays, my old radio partner. And we're not bound by any rules of the FCC, so we can do whatever the hell we want. And no program director going, you got to talk Eagles.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, enough with the Eagles already. Jesus. So, everything's going on, and it's a lot of fun.
Awesome,
Doing a
man.
great job, man.
Yeah, really good
Appreciate
job.
it.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Alrighty, there we go. The Nasty Knuckles boys. I had so much fun hanging with those dudes. First of all, I like both of those guys just personally. You know, Derek, I've known for so long, and Riles as well. And the thing about both of those guys is they're just totally authentic. There's no bullshit there. It's the real deal. So the Nasty Knuckles guys, thanks for having me out at the studio over there at Nasty's and the skate shop and everything else. It was a lot of fun talking to those guys. I'd love to do some more of those kind of joint episodes with other podcasts as well. I just think there's so many good conversations to have, and just to being able to talk about the game and the team and different people. I love doing that. So. Again, thanks to Riley Cote, thanks to Derek Settlemeyer. Nasty Knuckles is a fantastic podcast. We all like kind of fill a different lane. You know, there's all these different Flyers and hockey podcasts, but I don't think any of them are kind of redundant where they duplicate the same formula. We've all got our own thing. It's what we do, you know, whether it's Nasty Knuckles with a former player like Riles and a guy that behind the scenes with the organization for so many years, and Derek, or whether it's, Snow the goalie. I mean, I give Russ Joy a lot of shit. We'll continue to. But, the role that podcast fills with Anthony Sanfilippo and Bundy, who I think we're going to have Bundy next week, talk about his book coming on. And then also, Broad Street Hockey with Charlie and Steph and Kelly and Bill and all those guys do a great job. And there's so many brotherly pod with Anthony DeMarco and Dan. I mean, there's so many pods, and we're all different. So, like, I don't look at it like we're all in competition, but we're all just kind of in the same format, but different deliveries. So, I think it's great. I think I did a whole riff about this on Flyers Daily today. That I think the fact that sports radio doesn't talk about hockey or the Flyers because they can't for some reason. Well, we know the reason, but the fact that we have all these great on-demand content for Flyers and hockey, I think is just awesome. So it's one of the great things about the hockey market in Philadelphia. So anyway, let's wrap it up there. We'll be back Monday with another brand new episode. And on Monday's episode, actually, Russ Cohen's going to join us, and I put him up to a very interesting project. And we're going to discuss it on Monday. And here is his mission. The assignment is as follows. And I want to give this to anybody listening, too, if you'd like to complete the assignment. You can always DM me on Twitter at JasonMirt. You can email me at jason.mirtetus, MYRTETUS, @gmail.com. And what I'm looking for with this assignment is I want the plan. I want the plan and I want the timeline to bring the Flyers back to prominence. Beginning with now, in-season moves, usage, to off-season targets and opportunities, ancillary front office structure and draft and free agent targets. I mean, a lot of it obviously is going to depend on the draft lottery, but I want people's timeline and plan broken down, like a 6-point plan to bring the Flyers back to prominence. I think that might be fun to kick around. Anthony DeMarco will join us next week. I think Bundy as well. But everybody have a great weekend. Grab the BetParks app. Get on it. Get in all your action. Easy to use, easy to sign up, easy to deposit, faster to win than ever before. Fast payouts. Bets, you can bet on everything from futures to straight bets, parlays, teasers, to live in-game betting, player performances, same-game parlays. You name it, it's all there on the BetParks app. So get it today. Download the BetParks app. You do need to be over 21 and present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also visit Conquerville Subaru on Route 202 in Glen Mills. Share a love event. Check out the great Subaru vehicles. Their certified pre-owned inventory service department where you get a free car wash whenever you visit. Visit ConquervilleSubaru.com. Get all the details there. Visit the showroom on Route 202 in Glen Mills. And remember that Conquerville cares. All right, everybody, have a great, safe hockey weekend. Flyers in Vegas tonight, and then I guess Sunday they'll be in Arizona. So busy weekend of hockey on the way. So everybody, enjoy the next couple of days. We'll talk to you coming up on Monday on a brand new edition of BetParks Presents Stick to Hockey Live.